Hello. In this podcast, we will be discussing subjects that may not be suitable for all ages.
Including, but not limited to, language, discussion of violence, sexual violence, and nudity.
Wait, this is a podcast. They can't even see the nudity if it's even in the movie.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, it doesn't
so,
matter.
so nix the last thing. The other things are still
there.
Still relevant.
Violence.
So, basically, no kids and grandma. Don't listen.
Don't listen. But anyway, enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Living Vicariously, the podcast where we talk about real-to-real horror. I'm the synthiest synth to ever synth, Logan, and I like to watch and talk about horror movies.
And I am straight chilling in front of the Rainforest Cafe, McCall, and I like true crime and murder.
Hey-o, hey-o, hey-o.
How are you?
I'm good. We haven't been recording for a while.
Ever.
Because the disease.
The coronavirus.
Coronavirus
and
is
that pandemic.
Garbage. Yep. So that's what's been kind of holding us up. Also, the wedding events. We're getting closer to when it is.
To my coronavirus themed wedding.
Yes, we literally are making masks.
Everyone gets a mask. Everyone gets hand sanitizer.
Well, the ceremony at least is going to be outside.
Outside.
So at least that's fine. Because in Minnesota we have to wear masks in any indoor places
all the time.
Yeah.
And
any
no
indoor
one's really
public
gonna come,
place.
so
Yeah.
it's gonna be me, Brendan, and a handful
And
of
Logan.
And yeah, Logan will
Mom
be
and
there.
Dad, Brendan's mom and dad.
Boom! That's a wedding.
Brendan's brother.
Good thing I ordered a keg.
Keg. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna keg stand the shit out
And
of that.
a lot of wine. I don't know. I'm gonna get shit faced.
Oh, me too.
Anyway.
Duh. We're still gonna have a fun time.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I like to have fun.
I like to have fun. Mommy doesn't get drunk. She just has fun.
She just has fun. Mom's drunk. I'm talking
Normal. All right. What have you been up to lately during your corona timer?
Wedding planning, quarantining.
Yep. Staying the fuck home.
That's it.
And then work.
And then working at home.
Yep. Working at home.
Which is awesome, actually.
I actually don't mind it.
I thought I was going to mind it. And I started and I was like, oh, wait.
Once we got past the point where it's like, I started with a new client, and so I was there was that period of transition that was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like once I got past that, and I'm like a little more in like the mindless, like, okay, I know what I'm doing.
And now you know what you're doing. You get
Like,
up in the morning and you're like, I'm going to have my coffee and sit in my chair.
Exactly.
Do my work.
And it just became a lot easier. And like, I don't know if you got it, but we got an email from something that was like a survey of like how it's going. And I literally, in every question that it asked me, I was like, I want to stay home.
It's going amazing. Please let me stay here.
Yeah, let me stay home. Because it's like, I don't want to have to make a 45-minute trip every day anymore.
I don't want to. I honestly didn't know how much I didn't want to drive until I didn't have to drive anymore. And I was like, oh my God.
It is a little dangerous, though, this being inside, because it's preventing me from, like...
Going outside.
Like, going outside, but, like, also, like, when a safe social experience is gonna happen... like either you meet someone outside or it's like a family member or something.
Mm-hmm.
I am just like, I don't know if I want to do it because I could just be sitting inside.
I could just I
could just not
be home.
Exactly. So it's like, it's kind of dangerous. Like I've been kind of having to push myself lately to go do social things in safe situations.
I like being alone at home too much. So
I do too.
I'm worried about like children who are just kind of learning social stuff right now.
Oh my God. And it's like
because
they're getting
their
locked
parents
inside.
have to tell them like, no, like don't go too close to people. And like, I don't know. I just feel like that would confuse me as a kid. And then you grow up later and you're like, no, now you can, get close to people. And they're like, no, we're not supposed to.
Later on, there might be a whole generation of kids that are afraid of human contact.
Or we're like germ-Xing all the time.
Yep. But, it happens.
It's fine. Yeah, it's
Do you know how many times when I've been editing this podcast?
Yes.
Do you know how many times I have to edit out every time one of us goes?
It happens so much.
I'm just like, oh my God, Logan, keep your fucking lips.
Both of us do it.
We do. Both of us will do it, and I'll just be like, God damn it! I'll be clipping them out like a madman.
Anyway, I can't do that.
Nope.
I can click my tongue.
Anyway, well, speaking of disease,
I say, what's you talking about?
What's you talking?
What's you talking?
I am going to talk about Dawn of the Dead. I'm talking about the original 1978 version.
They remade it, I'm assuming.
They did. They remade it back in 2004.
Okay.
And it actually, the one in 2004 is actually terrifying.
Oh,
because
shit.
that's the zombies like run and shit.
No, I hate it when they run.
No, that I like. This is like the classic like zombie shuffle. Is it? Like,
I would love the shuffle
like that. I don't. And it's really funny. I think that's one of the things that really kind of makes this movie 2.5 hours.
Is the slow shuffle of the danger?
But so I'll get into that. But yeah, this movie 1978. I watch. It's. I don't know after posting this episode, who knows how long it'll stay there, but it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. Both versions.
I just did the noise.
Both versions, both the 2 hour and 7 minute one and the 2.5 hour one. And for you guys, I watched the 2.5 hour one.
Why did they add so much more?
I have no clue. And it's hard because it's like, that's the only one I've watched. So that's the only one that I know, like, what happened. You know, it's like, it's like when you watch, I think if I was to watch the shorter one, I'd be like, oh, they clipped that. Like when you watch the not extended versions of the Lord of the Rings. I was gonna say,
this isn't Lord of the Rings. You don't need to add more to this movie, I'm assuming.
There was so much
that should have been taken
anyway
away.
So we got David M.G., I believe that's how you say his name, plays Steven. We got Ken Foree plays Peter. Scott R. Reiniger is Roger, and Galen Ross is Francine. And then really it's just a lot of other people.
Wow,
like,
what a cast.
Very low budget. I can't remember how much it was. It was like, I think it was
$1 million.
Yeah, $1 million kind of sounds about right. Based on
the score.
Well, the score, yes. Oh my god, I love the score though. It's so synthy. It's great. Don't you dare.
It's bad.
It's okay.
You showed it to me. It's bad.
I did. I just wanted her to get an idea of what we
I have an idea.
Well, it's funny because comparatively, The Night of the Living Dead barely had any soundtrack.
That's the black and white one, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Barely had any soundtrack.
Does this have any relation to The Night of the Living Dead?
It is. It's a direct sequel.
Oh.
So, and it's made by the same person. It's made by George A. Romero, who made who made The Night of the Living Dead.
Oh my god.
So,
is this one in color?
It is in color.
Yay!
Which also is not to its benefit because, okay, so Tom Savini, horror movie legend, icon, superstar, did the makeup for it. He decided to make all the zombies gray because in the black and white one, they didn't really have to do anything because, hey,
they were black and white.
So, it didn't really... that he was like, we're gonna what?
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you know what the one is where there's a zombie that's like a tar man?
What?
Whoa.
Nope.
It comes up...
singular zombie.
One zombie who like came out of a tar pit and he says brains.
Oh, is that,
I don't know what that is.
It's the Return of the Living Dead,
There
I think.
we go, okay.
And that's completely different.
I just, whenever people
or
talk
Return
about...
of the Dead or something like that.
I don't remember. But it comes up a lot. That specific zombie man.
And I think, if I remember correctly, like that kind of like Return of the Dead is a little more comical. But this one, honestly, George A. Romero's design for this one, or inspiration, was like more of like a comic book. He wanted it. So like the colors are very bright and colorful. And the blood is like super red and translucent. Tom Savini hated it. He was like, it looks too fake. And George A. Romero was like, perfect.
Great.
It looks like a comic book. But anyway, like what I was saying, he wanted everyone to be gray. And he was upset because then when it was filmed, he looked at it, he was like, oh, they all look blue. and it got to the point where it's like you could tell where some of the zombies, it was like they were losing interest in painting all these people gray. Because some people are like gray, and some people are like, eh. And then some people just, throughout the movie, just didn't even have, like, makeup on.
They got missed.
And almost every...
They're fresh zombies.
Almost every person was a volunteer. And they were all given... Every, like, zombie person was given $1.
Wow.
What was it? It was $1, a Dawn of the Dead t-shirt.
Fuck yeah.
And something else. There was like another thing. It was like a beer or something like that. Well, it's funny because like they actually would go like, so the zombies after filming, because they could only film at the mall at night. because during the day it's an active mall.
It's a mall.
And so they, at night, it would close at 10 and they would film from 10 to 6. And, the zombies after filming would go and get riggedy wrecked, son, at a local bar. And at one point they got so drunk they stole a golf cart and crashed it and caused $7,000 worth of damage.
What the fuck? I love these volunteers.
Yep, they were having fun. And then it's funny because, like, throughout the movie, there's, like, certain zombies that are, like, lead zombies. And you know they're lead zombies.
I'm a big deal.
Well, because they're dressed in a different costume. Like, there's a nun.
Oh my god.
There's a kid in a baseball uniform. There's a Hare Krishna.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just going to get right into it now.
Wow, okay, right into it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So the movie starts out at, like, a news station where we meet Steven and, what was her name? Fran. And they are making plans to leave. They're going to escape because right now the news station is trying to, like, keep everyone up to date on everything. And
so you're in the middle of it.
Yeah, this is like, it's a sequel to the Night of the Living Dead, but it's like a sequel. And the way that George A. Romero described it was, it's like at the point where the ratio to zombies to humans is pretty equal.
Okay.
Like, it's like a tipping point. It's a
also,
balance.
Are they called ghouls in this?
They're zombies. They're called zombies.
Confusing.
It's the first time that they were referred to as zombies, and they were only referred to it as zombies once in this movie.
Well, okay.
But, so, anyway, they make plans to leave. There's a lot of conversating.
That'll happen.
Yep.
Dialogue
And there's so much dialogue in this movie that doesn't need to even be there. And
yep.
So they eventually go up, and so Steven is a air traffic reporter, so he knows how to fly a helicopter.
Hell yeah, get us out of here, Steven.
And then Fran is like a news executive, and they're lovers.
Of course.
And they end up leaving in the helicopter. But before that, then it clips over to our other main characters we meet, which are Roger and Peter. Roger is part of, like, they're both SWAT team members.
Rad.
And they're going to, like, this tenement house to, like, the people are holding up there, and a martial law has been enacted, and so people are not allowed to stay in any housing, no matter how well fortified. So what the SWAT team is there to do is to take out the people and bring them to, one location, which is great for zombies to kind of get them.
To really get a bunch of people.
Yeah. So, and these people are like, no, we're staying here. Well, it turns out these people are low income, generally people of color, and this one police officer is like hella racist.
Oh no.
Like drop in slurs, like
slurs.
I was like, oh my, like even watching.
It's the 1970s.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Oh no.
Didn't like it, but he was an ass. He dies, so it's great.
Rad.
But so basically,
so the zombies are good.
Yeah. Well, it turns out these people have been, every time someone dies, they've been, like, putting them in the basement. Because they think that, like, according to Peter later on, he says, like, he thinks that these people still think there's, like, dignity in dying or death or something like that. And it's like, not at this point.
Dignity in becoming a zombie?
Yeah, well, like at one point, one of the women like runs out to her zombified husband, and he's
No!
like, she's like, no, it's my husband, don't shoot him.
He's a zombie.
And then he bites the shit out of her neck.
Yeah, no shit.
And rips her neck apart.
Oh.
So she's
great. Dead. Well, no, she's a zombie.
She can be a zombie. But, so, and it's basically that. It's basically introducing us to Roger and Peter, who become friends and then leave together. There is some drama that happens, like, this is what I was going to tell you before. So all the zombies move so slow, and all of the characters in their reactions move so slow. Because I think if they moved quickly, like, a normal human would be, like, when I say...
Zombies wouldn't stand a chance?
If the zombies were all doing the zombie shuffle, and normal people were running and acting like normal people, they'd be getting fucked up. The zombies would be getting fucked up.
The zombies would be getting their
No,
shit
but
tossed.
they are all, like, all the humans are very hesitant to, like, attack them. Yeah.
It's that one gif of that lady who, like, sees that skeleton coming at her.
Yes.
And he's just, like, toddling towards
from
her. And
from the house on Haunted Hill.
Keeps screaming, and you're like, wow.
And do you know where he dumps her into?
Water.
No, it's not water. It's a whole thing of acid.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's cooler.
Yeah, she falls into a whole tub of acid.
I did not know that. I thought he just pushed her into a lake like,
Nope.
bitch.
It's acid.
All right.
But anyway, so then Roger made plans with Steven and Fran to leave, but he brings Peter with him, and they all go off in the helicopter together. There's like a moment where like you see some other police officers who are trying to leave, and they're irritating. There's one guy who is like stupid. And it's kind of a funny moment, though, because he's, like, asking them all. He's like, do you have cigarettes? Does anyone have a cigarette? Because this is the 70s, and everyone's chain-smoking cigarettes.
Everybody loves cigarettes.
And he ends up leaving, and then all the people in the helicopter whip out cigarettes and start smoking them.
It's like in school when someone's like, oh, do you have any gum? And you're like, oh, this is my last piece.
This is my last piece. You have, like, 5 other packs in your desk.
Screw you, buddy.
Gum was, like, a currency.
It was. I don't know why.
It was like a currency in middle school.
It was a big deal.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so they end up leaving, and they're flying around. They stop at one point, and like they have a moment at like a rest stop kind of like place to like fill up.
The helicopter?
Yeah, to fill up the helicopter.
Apparently. What the fuck are they?
Well, because they're like apparently they're like
with?
Well, they're like in the backwoods, and apparently like a lot like they're saying like, oh, a lot of these people have their own private airplanes, like, and so they're able to fill up their gas on their helicopter.
That reminds me of in Family Guy when he thinks he can make his car fly if he puts jet fuel in there. Sorry, yes. Anyway.
But, yeah. And, you know, they have, like, some close calls with the zombs. And there's at one point 2 zombie children rush at Peter. And it's funny because they actually run.
Oh, what the fuck?
They actually, some fun fact, are the only zombies that run.
That's weird.
But anyway, the zombie kids run at him, and his reaction is real because they told him, they're like, something's gonna come out at you, like a zombie's gonna come at you, but you didn't tell him it was gonna be children.
Does he deck the kids?
And he shoots him. Like he totally shoots him. Like,
I would love it if he just, like that one video of that guy just punching that girl in the elevator who scares.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like dressed like The Ring or something like that.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I love that video.
That is good. So they end up they see a mall, and they're like, let's go in the mall.
Great.
Let's go to the mall.
Big pretzel.
So they end up going into the mall. And there's a bunch of zombies there, and they make a lot of comments about, like, why are the zombies here? And they're like, well, there's part of them that remembers. Like, they don't know what it was, but they remember this place was important to them, and they want to be here.
What?
And, well, it's trying to, like, put in this idea that some of the memories that zombies have are maintained. But they are, like, not able to.
Don't like it.
But, through...
You could have just said there were a lot of people in the mall and they all got turned.
There were a big fuck ton of montages in this movie, too.
Were they trying on different outfits?
Yeah, at one point, yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah,
at one point. But, so they kind of set up base there. They managed to, pull some semis around to the front of the buildings to kind of block off the entrances.
Good.
So the zombies can't get to it, and they lock all the doors. Then once they get the semis in that place, they start they start hunting the zombies and killing them. So we have a montage of them killing all the zombs. We have and then so during the semi truck escapade, Roger gets too cocky.
Oh no!
And one of the zombies actually end up biting him.
Roger, you bitch!
And so he, throughout like the rest of his time on the screen, he's like slowly kind of like deteriorating.
Do they not know?
Oh, they know.
Oh,
they watch him get bit.
Why don't they kill him?
Well, because they don't know at this. Well, they do know. They do say at one point that it's like, I've seen people get bitten and blah. They just want to see. They need the manpower, and so they're trying to like keep him alive. So they're just pumping him full of morphine. Like, pumping him. I remember at one point when they're doing the montage of them killing the zombies, he has, like, a wrap on his leg, and underneath the wrap is obviously a blood pack, and one of the zombies comes up and grabs it and just, like, bursts open. And he's like, "Rawr!"
I guess I'm gonna need morphine, guys. Where the fuck are they getting morphine?
I don't know. This mall has everything.
Pharmacy?
It has everything. It has a pharmacy. It has a grocery store. It has a gun store with, like, the only bullets. So, like, the only land of bullets.
I don't feel like this is real.
I know. I'm like, this mall
This
has
is a movie.
a lot. Also, the fact that the mall electricity is using, they're like, it must be nuclear. And I'm like, yeah, out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, there's a nuclear power plant supplying this lonely mall with electricity.
The Mall of America doesn't have a grocery store or a gun store.
Exactly. Well, they might have at one point.
I get like a Dick's Sporting Goods. They
Maybe.
might have like hunting rifles.
I was like thinking about, yeah, if I was stuck in the mall, first of all, the Mall of America is too fucking big.
Too big.
It's
You
too
would be
big
fucked.
you'd be fucked if you tried to
I'd
hole
want
up
the
there.
Burnsville Center.
Burnsville
for
Center.
Sure.
You just got to hole up the JCPenney, the Dick's Sporting Good, and
I
what
would
used to be
definitely
the
choose
Sears.
Dick's Sporting Good, yes. What used to be the Sears. It does look sad in there now.
It's sad. It's slowly hemorrhaging. But so they do manage to clear out the whole mall, and then that's when they have their like basically the fantasy of everyone like doing like not even having to buy anything. They just kind of go into the stores
Fucking
and take
around
things.
in the stores, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, there's part of me, and I think they were trying to make a point about that too. Like what even is? At one point, they grab. There's a bank in there too, by the way, and
What the shit?
and they end up taking out the money from the bank. They're like,
I would not do that.
They're like, you never know, and it's just like, I don't think anyone's gonna give a shit about money.
I don't care about your money
At this point, nobody's gonna care about money.
No. We're gonna be paying in zombie brains or something like that to show how many zombies you've killed.
So throughout this whole thing, we slowly learn that Fran is pregnant with Steven's child.
Oh, Fran.
And she is chain smoking like
Oh.
there's no tomorrow. Like there's no tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow for her.
Yeah,
it's
for
an
her.
apocalypse.
Exactly. And at one point, Peter's like, "Do you want to keep it? It's not too late. We can abort it, and I know how." And I'm just like, "Whoa."
Damn, bitch.
Mm.
What is this, the road?
One of my favorite lines in the whole movie, or one of my favorite bits that happens, besides the smoking thing,
Besides the smoking?
is they're in the helicopter leaving the very first night, and someone brings a cheery topic of, "So are you leaving anyone behind?"
Fuck you, dude.
and so like Steven's like an ex-wife, Fran's like an ex-husband, and then Roger, I don't think he says anything, and then it goes to Peter, and Peter's like a couple of brothers, and it should be noted that Peter is a black man. And so Fran looks over and she goes, "Now are those like real brothers or like
my God,
street
Fran."
brothers?" And
He punches Fran in the face.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
What the fuck, Fran?
And then he goes, "Both." Like just kind of like,
Okay, bitch.
like that's are those like real brothers or street brothers? And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking, Fran? Like
Real brothers, you dumb bitch.
But
God.
so eventually Roger deteriorates so much that he ends up dying. And he has his big like dramatic like I say dramatic, it's kind of comedic actually. His like, I don't know if it's because he's so doped up on morphine that he's acting like this, but he's like, "I'm gonna try not to come back. I don't want to be walking around like that."
I don't wanna.
And he's like, "Only shoot me if you're sure I'm coming back."
What the fuck?
It's like, it's very overdramatic.
I would put the gun to my head, like, shoot me in the fucking face.
I'd be like, "Do it.
Do it. Pull the trigger, Piglet.
Do it." Yeah, it's too late. He bit me. Pull the trigger, Piglet.
I want my last words to be pull the trigger, Piglet.
No matter where I am, I could be in a hospital, like totally, like I'm just dying from natural
I'll turn
causes.
to you in my hospice room, like, pull the trigger, Piglet.
Pull the trigger, Piglet. That should be our keyword if either of us are ever like made into a vegetable. Like,
as a vegetable, I'm gonna say pull the trigger,
I'm gonna
Piglet?
I'm gonna be laying
or
there.
are you going to turn to the nurse and say, pull the trigger, Piglet?
No, I'm gonna in my vegetative state, you're gonna put a pencil in my hand or a soft crayon. and I'm gonna write, "Pull the trigger, Piglet."
I'm gonna make it a crayon just to be a dick.
And I'm gonna hold it like this.
Still right?
I'm gonna like, "Pull the trigger, Piglet."
Yeah. Oh man.
So Roger's dead.
So Roger's.
And they bury him in the mall. Oh, there's an ice rink in this mall too.
I fucking hate this mall. It's not real.
Oh, and I was reading, it's all real. And they actually even said that they tore out the ice rink and now there's a food court there. I'm like, this mall has everything. I'm like, why is the Mall of America the world's biggest mall? Or
Yeah.
America's biggest mall?
Why don't we get a grocery store and a bank and a gun store?
Where's my gun store?
Where's my gun store? No, I don't need it. It's fine.
I don't. I'm actually terrified of guns.
I'm okay.
So, eventually, and they just kind of like keep living in the mall, and they end up like kind of like going through like Fran's like, we gotta go because
Where are you gonna
like,
go?
well,
bitch?
because she's like, it's just a prison. Like this place is a prison. We have to keep moving. And I'm like, if you got a good
keep
thing,
moving too.
if you keep, I don't know. I didn't agree with her.
I
Like,
feel like when you find a place, maybe like chill, bitch.
and then so meanwhile, Fran is also like, I need to learn how to fly this helicopter just in case anything happens to you.
Steve.
And so Steven does teach her, but unfortunately when he's teaching her, it does attract looters.
Oh.
A band of looters.
Rad.
And so the
People are the real
yeah,
monsters.
exactly. So eventually this group of raiders come in and they
go like
they scare easily, but they will come back and in greater numbers.
yes. I watch Star Wars.
Nah, but they come so
Nah. But they do come.
they do come in. They are all on motorcycles. Fun fact: they were all part of a motorcycle club,
Rad.
and the motorcycles were their own, and they were like specially like customized and everything. It was actually really cool.
Nice.
And they come in, they basically wreck the whole joint, and they end up letting in all these zombies.
God damn it.
And one of the things that they try to like, Peter tries to be like, he's like, the minute you underestimate these people, like the zombies, you're gonna die. And that whole time they're just messing with the zombies, and I was like, they're gonna die.
They're gonna die.
But they end up trying to engage with them. Like, Steven just starts shooting at them.
Good one, Steven.
And it's like, it's two of you versus a whole motorcycle gang.
Versus a gang.
And so, basically through a series of events, the Marauders end up getting, like, chased out because the zombies start to overwhelm them and start to eat them. And then Steven at one point gets chased into an elevator. The power goes out.
Oh, God.
Which is kind of what leads to the Marauders kind of getting fucked over because they can't see anymore. And so Steven is stuck in this elevator, and he manages to get up on the top, like, you know, and he has a walkie-talkie, but he leaves the walkie-talkie down below.
God damn it,
like an
Steven.
idiot. So, these guys come in before the power goes out, and they shoot at him, and they manage to clip his arm, and then they leave. I guess.
Anyway.
They're like, we got him.
I guess we'll
And
go.
so then the power goes off, and the door is shut. And Steven hops back down and grabs the walkie, and he's like, I'm in the elevator. And he's like, and it's funny, he hops back down and grabs the walkie, and is like, I'm in the elevator, come and help me, because like they have like this whole system through like the ventilation system. And Peter goes, oh, crawl up on the top of the elevator, and I'll come get you through the ventilation system. It's like, so where you just were.
Get back there.
And now you have a damaged arm.
God damn it.
And as he's climbing up, the power comes back on, the doors open, the zombies grab him.
Oh, I thought he would get crunched.
No, he does get crunched. He gets munched by the zombies.
Crunchy munched.
So he gets munched by the zombies.
Sucks.
And it's funny because like Peter comes back, and Fran like looks at him and goes, he's dead, isn't he? And I'm just like, wow, Fran.
Damn.
Cold.
She's still pregnant?
Yeah,
Or did Peter take care of her?
No, she's much further along in the pregnancy now. So then, they go to the roof again with the helicopter.
They go to the ceiling.
Yep, they go to the ceiling. Fran gets the helicopter going, and then Peter's like, I don't want to leave. He's like,
I want to stay in this shithole.
and then he looks like he's going to kill himself, and then he decides to go, no. And he fights.
Oh.
And he gets out.
Of the mall?
He gets out to the top. He gets up to the roof again.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the zombies are climbing a ladder. Cool. And I'm like, I didn't think they would be able to do that.
I did not.
But
they
climb.
can open doors and shit.
Yep, they climb a ladder. Oh, speaking of which, so back to the point that I was telling you about, so like the zombies having recalled memories.
Yeah.
So there is the way up to the room that they've been living in. There's a doorway, and it goes up and then it leads to a stairway. Well, they didn't want anybody to know about this room, so they actually went to because guess what? There's also a hardware store.
I can't stand it. This is not real.
They managed to build a wall to protect, like, cover the door so it just looks like a blank
Hidden
wall.
room.
Exactly. But because Steven suddenly becomes a zombie.
No.
And he remembers that there is a door there.
Does he lead the other
He
zombies?
leads the other zombies. He leads the other zombies to the room.
What the fuck, Steven?
And so then they get on the roof. Fran is looking out like, what's going on? Do I go? As these zombies are approaching, and then finally Peter's like, here I am, and like gets into the helicopter and they leave, and he's like, and the last lines in the whole movie are, he goes, how much fuel do we have left in the helicopter? And she goes, not much. And he goes, sounds good. And then they fly away, and that's the end of the movie.
All right. I guess I didn't have a follow-up.
Exactly. It was like, sounds good, or like, it's all right, or so. It was something like that. And
I was hoping it would be a better answer.
I was like, okay. So, I was like, sounds good. And then the movie ends with one of the greatest songs to ever be put into a movie ever. This is the end credit song. Are you not into it? You know what the name of this is called? It's called The Gonk.
What the fuck?
I love it.
Why did they pick that?
I don't know. Well, it was one of the... It's funny because that song comes on when Steven gets turned into a zombie, too.
Honestly, though, I love that. It's terrible, though.
I only played it for 15 seconds. That's good, right?
I thought you said it wasn't,
It is. You're right. It is, it's part of a... It's... What is the name of it?
Royalty-free?
Not royalty-free, but it is, it's been used, unreleased incidental music. It's been used by several different movies and stuff, so it's like... Or like the awesome, wonderful mall shopping music with the slide whistle that I showed you. That was like, that lit the fire under my ass to go shopping.
I guess I gotta go shopping.
So imagine the 30 minutes that I just told you about this movie. Not even 30 minutes, more like 20.
It feels like a very short movie.
Because that's all that happens that's important. Now imagine 2.5 hours.
Stretch that bitch out. That's too long.
It's still good. Now, Day of the Dead, I might catch some flack for it, but I did not care for that at Oils.
Is that in the same canon?
It's the same, but this one's further along. Now there's more zombies than there are humans.
Okay. So like Shaun of the Dead?
Kind of.
I didn't like that ending. Spoilers for Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead scared me, actually.
It scared the shit out of me.
I saw that movie maybe too young.
We saw it too young. Something that upset me today.
What?
We were walking back from the pool.
Yeah.
In our apartment building. And this woman walks in with her dog. A beautiful Aussie dog.
Puppy.
And when I see a dog, I'm like, puppy! It looked at me and was like, fuck you, you horrible bitch.
How? What?
He hated me on sight.
Dogs love me.
My defense, I was standing in front of their apartment door. So he started barking at me.
So he was probably like, get
away from my house.
I say dogs love me as that one dog that was at Boo's house totally barked the shit out and scared the poop out of me.
That dog was not having it.
No, I'm not having it.
But yeah, so like the dog saw me and started barking at me, so I backed up into the doorwell of their apartment.
Just like, ah.
I was so afraid because I've never had a dog not like me, and then like the woman,
it affects you.
I was standing there super scared, and the woman's like, that's my apartment, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, and I try to like scooting out of the doorwell, and then they left, and I was like kind of sad for like an hour or two afterward because I'm like,
because a dog didn't like you.
Like what?
It hurts you. It really affects you.
I was like, I'm a nice person. I love dogs. I'm not violent.
On the other side of the spectrum, I saw the biggest corgi I've ever seen in my life. And when I say big, I don't mean like fat. he was just huge. He was hench. He was just like,
hench.
I was like, this is the biggest, and his name was Pork Chop.
Pork
and I was
Chop.
like, I've only known Pork Chop for 10 minutes, and I would die for Pork Chop.
What was the thing they were calling cats where they were really fat?
Bungus
Bungus or something?
Chungus? Big Chungus.
Big Chungus.
I call Dexter Chumbly.
Chumbly.
When he starts begging me for food, I'm like, you Chumbly kitty.
He is a Chumbly kitty. I love my cat.
I love the one meme that was around for a while where it's like, I had a dream. I woke up from a dream and then like sweat, like a night sweat. Like I just was picturing cats, big fat cats with the word "bode" written by them.
It was Bode.
Bode.
That's what it was. People were calling cats like Bode for so long when they were really round. Okay.
But I got Chumbly.
Chumbly. My Chumbly kitty. Okay, it's my turn.
Do you need to pee?
I actually do need to pee.
So let's take a quick break.
We're taking a break.
Quick potty break, and we'll be right back.
I learned Anyway.
Oh, I also called Dexter. I'll call him. I'll say it. I'll be like, Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Kitty. Meow, meow, meow,
meow. Meow, meow, meow.
I like doing that to him. Okay, it's my turn. And you want to know what I'm going to do? Because I haven't told you yet, because it's a surprise. Also, Logan got into true crime recently.
Oh, yeah.
Which is weird.
Suddenly, I've been like...
It finally clicked.
It's like, I've been listening to it, I'm like... Because it's like, I'm like... Now I see why McCall likes this, because I'm like, it's wild. Like, I just sit and I'll be like
wild.
Postulating like different theories and shit.
Have you watched Unsolved Mysteries?
No, I want to. I saw it was on Netflix now, and I was like, I want it.
Holy shit. We should watch one tonight.
Yeah.
I just watched one. I don't want to ruin it, so I can't tell you it.
But we have so many Smash Bros. To be doing.
We have so many Smash Bros.
And Mario Karting to do, now that I have Mario Kart.
I do love Mario Kart.
Love me some Mario Kart.
Okay, so this one. Alright. Don't look at my notes.
Okay.
I got my info from, well, mostly I watched a lot of, like, 10 o'clock news channels. I watched, like, CBS News, Care 11 News.
I'm gonna fart.
Please don't fart. Your farts are the worst. No! It made a noise!
I wonder if the mic picked it up.
It was honestly a really sad little gross noise.
It was. I almost pooped. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't. Logan shits his pants. Anyway. We say that a lot.
I got info from the New York Post from an article by Kate She said with a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I got info from a Yahoo News article. Yes, that is right.
Not Yahoo News.
Not Yahoo Answers.
The pinnacle of reporting.
Yahoo News. I got info from the AFC podcast, which I don't know too much on. I just was looking for some sort of video to watch.
Animals fucking country.
I was like, what are you trying to tell me, Charlie? What the fuck?
AFC.
AFC. I finally got it, but at first I was like, animals fucking, are you okay?
And I was trying to think of a third word that started with a C.
What did you come up with?
Country.
Okay. Animal fucking country.
Yep.
I got information from, it's an interview of the mother.
I'm sorry, AFC. I'm not trying to besmirch you.
I don't know a lot.
Their fans are going to come and just, like, kill me.
They are going to animal fuck you to death.
Animal fuck.
Christmas breaks his knees. I love that.
This is so good.
We've already
told you
Christmas breaks his knees, but that's my fucking favorite thing. So I got information.
I actually will say I'm sorry. I also will say that's some good shit, McDonald's man.
That's good shit, McDonald's man.
I say that one a lot.
Thank you, college.
And I'm like, nobody even knows. I'm quoting real life.
And that McDonald's man was like, all right.
All right.
It's a Tuesday night, friend.
You drunk bitch.
You drunk college student. And then I got information from an interview with the mom of the perpetrator.
Okay.
And the chief public defender. They just had like a news crew meetup where someone filmed it. And another interview with the mom from NPR by Alyssa Roth. And NPR is like, for realsies. This ain't no Yahoo News. Sorry, Yahoo News. I don't know anything. I don't know good sources, but anyway. So, Logan, I'm going to transport you back.
Please do.
Back in time to a
But
simpler time.
To the before times where I was able to go outside.
You were able to go outside. You were able to go to the Mall of America.
Oh my god. Oh, this is one that happened in Minnesota.
Minnesota. You're at the Mall of America.
You said the Rainforest Cafe, and the first thing I thought of was the
Mall of America.
Well, Bob Burger. What?
Bob Burger.
What year was this?
2019.
Okay, so this was last year. So the Rainforest Cafe was on the top floor, because if you
floor, 'cause
remember,
they
it
moved
was on the bottom floor
It
for a long
was.
time.
If you haven't seen the Rainforest Cafe, that is the swankiest place to eat if you are
But the food is
a
so boring.
child. Yes. But it's so cool because they have animatronic shit in the front that's a rainforest, and they
Yeah.
have like fish tanks inside.
And then every half hour there's a thunderstorm.
Yes. Oh my god.
I'm like, that would be obnoxious.
We ate there once. I got the chicken fingers. I did not like them. I remember throwing them under the table. I used to do that quite a lot.
You did. You threw a lot of your
I
food
threw
you
a lot
didn't
of
like.
chicken tenders under the table.
I think this is a very common kid activity. Anyway,
Waitresses
Rainforest
hated
Cafe.
me. Okay,
The bane of waitresses everywhere.
this is a year ago, 2019. You're
Okay.
at the Mall of America.
I probably was.
Landon is 5 years old. He is with his mom and his mom's friend.
Oh,
Shut your mouth. Don't give it away. I'm
I was
so
like,
excited.
I was thinking, what happened?
What happened to the Mall of America? They are at the mall. They are just, kind of walking around. They are standing in front of the Rainforest Cafe, just kind of talking, chilling, seeing what's going on. And this man walks up next to them. And he's very close. It's weird. Landon's mother is like, "Can I help you? Or do you need me to move out of the way? Am I standing in front of you?" All of a sudden, this strange man grabs her son, 5-year-old Landon. He is 5 years old. He's grabbed by this stranger. The stranger now has... I would assume since they're standing by the Rainforest Cafe, he has to kind of book it towards the balcony. But he basically...
Because it's pretty far. Like, it's a jaunt.
Yeah, he has to grab this little boy, and he runs over to the side of the balcony, and he throws this 5-year-old boy off of the 3rd floor. So the boy falls 40 feet.
I also have some insight on this because Riley, one of my good friends,
He works at the Mall of America.
at the Mall of America.
Worked at Holy shit. Okay. I did this one because we obviously live in Minnesota, and this was like
It was huge.
this was a big story when
Yeah.
it happened.
I was there when it happened. I wasn't there. Sorry, Riley was there. So it's like I have some eyewitness accounts to what happened. He didn't watch it, so I guess not eyewitness. Actually, I lied. He does have some eyewitness accounts because some of his workers were on their break at that time, and they took videos.
Oh my god.
And sent them to Riley of
the boy falling?
not the boy falling, but the aftermath. Like
Okay,
they didn't get the boy falling,
I
but they saw the paramedics coming to get the boy and stuff.
saw a lot of pictures of you can see. I know exactly where it is too. I can see it in my mind's eye, but it's a group of people around the boy over by the escalators. But anyway,
Can I also say that as one of my worst fears is falling from? I cannot go by the edge.
When we were little, I remember being afraid. I would walk up to the edge and be like, "What?"
I'm still afraid. I'm a grown ass man. I'm still afraid to walk up to the edge because I was like I could fall.
That feeling of when you go up somewhere high and you're like, "I could jump." You could just jump right now. It's just kind of a weird thing. But anyway, so this...
One of those intrusive thoughts. Like when you're eating dinner and it's like you have your knife and you're like, I could just stab everyone right now.
What if I just stab my hand? I never have the stab everyone thing that you seem to have.
I have had that. I was like, I'm holding our steak knife and I'm like, I could just stab someone.
I have what would happen if you just stabbed your hand right now? What would happen? And then I'm like, cool, crazy. Let's just calm down
I do
for
the
a
same
second.
thing. I'm like, all right, let's bring that back a
Bring
little
it back
bit.
now, y'all. So this 5-year-old boy
It's like, okay, edgelord.
40 feet to the 1st floor. Police and paramedics are called, obviously. The stranger runs off into the crowd. A bystander actually does try to stop him which, you know, good on that guy, whoever that was, but he does manage to get away.
Well, if I saw him, I would have like full on. I've never played football in my life, but
Deck that,
I would have full on like football tackled him. So I would have thrown him over the edge.
The mom.
See how he likes it.
Yeah, the mom is obviously screaming. Most of the eyewitness, I watch so many news reels of this, and it's the same dude in like every different news place saying like, I saw the mom and she like fell to her knees and was like, pray for my baby. But he said the same thing in every one, and I was like, are you getting paid for this? Because you are all over the place. So 5-year-old Landon is rushed to the hospital. He has head trauma and he has multiple broken bones.
He was thrown from the third floor.
The third fucking floor. The perpetrator is found by the police later. He's at the light rail train at the mall. He's like trying to get away. And the police are like, hello, friend. No, you're coming with us now.
Yoink.
Yoink. So his name is Emmanuel Aranda. He was born in Chicago. And are you looking at how I said that?
No.
Aranda?
No.
He is indicated by his mom to have a lot of mental health issues. I
would say issues?
That's what I said, so I'm sticking to it.
Can I, like, interject with my...
Yes.
Things that I know because of Riley?
Yes.
He said this guy has been kicked out of the mall several times.
Yes, he has.
He was kicked out of the mall several times because he would constantly do things like that. He would he would go and he'd mess up displays in stores. He would throw things, like objects, over the edge.
Not
all the
5-year-old
time.
boys?
Exactly. And so this was kind of like an escalation.
Yeah.
And he was banned from the mall when he was there.
Mm-hmm. So, the mom said he had mental health issues. Sorry. She said he was usually fine. He was mostly quiet and shy, and then every now and again he would just kind of like act up and get really violent. Which, I don't know. She said he's never been violent to children specifically in the past. He was noticed to be really self-isolating and exhibited strange behaviors when he was younger. So much so that teachers were like, maybe you should get him checked for some stuff. So the mom took him in.
There's something happening with him.
Something about this. The mom took him in, and he was initially diagnosed with ADD. And that is... The problem with this story is it's from 2019. So I don't have, like... If I'm doing, like, a serial killer from the 80s, I have all of the information. They've wrote multiple books on it.
Sometimes you don't, as per the true crime that I've been listening to, where they still don't know. And I'm like, huh?
Why don't you know?
I'm like, you gave me such a chub, and now...
Ew. I gotta go.
You blue balls me. You didn't give me my happy ending.
Maybe don't watch Unsolved Mysteries.
Well, I think it's in the title there.
They are unsolved.
I'll say at that point, I think... It's funny because sometimes in the ones that I've been watching, they're like, this was featured on Unsolved Mysteries. And I'm just like, ah.
My favorite is the meme that's like me watching Unsolved Mysteries, and then at the end, it's unsolved, and that picture of Pikachu going like...
like shocked.
Me?
Yeah.
So, he was... The only diagnosis I could find for him, mental illness-wise, was ADD. That's the only thing that was written down. There was no schizophrenia.
I don't think ADD makes you want to throw kids off balconies.
I mean, in my limited experience with mental... I'm not like a psychiatrist, but it doesn't feel like that happens a lot. Anyway.
Who knows? Maybe it does.
So, she stated he got kind of worse when he was around the age of 14. He got kind of unstable, and then as he got older... He had problems keeping jobs. He was homeless from time to time. And then he would just kind of disappear every once in a while. Which, like, as a mom, I'd be like, what the fuck? So, the Cook County... in Cook County...
Don't speak too harshly. She lives here. She'll come for us.
She will cut me. In Chicago. Because they originally lived in Chicago.
Chi-town.
And they moved here later. But he was arrested in 2014... for assault with a deadly weapon. He was...
Assault and battery. Assault with batteries.
Oh. In a sock.
Yep.
Oh,
Have you seen? Wait, really quick. I'm sorry. Have you seen that one Vine of like the mom who just looks so haggard, and she's like, "Every time you yell at your kids, put a quarter in the no yelling sock, and soon you'll have a weapon to beat." And it like cuts out.
I love that. No. I watched like a waitress kind of going over what happened at the restaurant, the Golden Nugget, which I love the name of that restaurant. The Golden Nugget. It's like when
I'm trying to place it in the mall. I've been there so often.
This is in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago. Okay.
I
was like, that does not sound like a...
It's a weird name for a restaurant, though. So she said she saw him strike someone over the head, and then he took out a knife, and he was screaming that he was going to kill someone. And people are hiding, like, their children under tables and shit in this restaurant, and then he runs away. And he's later caught by police. A different article said that an employee came up to him and was like, "You need to pay your bill, sir." And they were like, "I'm going to call the police if you don't pay your bill." And then he began to beat that employee, and a dude came over and was like, "Please stop beating this employee," and he took out a knife. Anyway.
Fucking knife.
A fucking knife. For that, he was sentenced to 8 months probation, because that's assault with a deadly weapon. He also has 2 incidences of assault at the Mall of America, which you kind of already talked about. But in 2015, he assaulted a woman by throwing a glass of water and a glass of tea at her for refusing to buy him something.
What?
It is really unclear if he, like, came there with the lady, or if he just met a random woman and he's like, "Hey, buy me this," and she was like, no. And he just started throwing beverages at her.
And he has in one hand a glass of water, and in the other hand a glass of tea.
Shoot.
And just like Blastoise, use hydro pump.
And I don't know if he threw like a full glass of water at her, or if he like splooshed her with water.
And then took out his thermos of tea and...
Yeah! Like, it's very different. But again, there's not a lot of information.
Pocket sand, but it's like pocket tea.
Pocket tea. And then another instance was him throwing objects off of the 3rd floor and hitting people below. And they, were like, "Get the fuck out of here." He was banned. His mom said that the nights before the incident... no, his mom said that he showed up at her sister's house. Not the mom's sister's house. His sister's house, sorry. And he punched her and then ran away. And the sister was like, "Hello, police?" And the police were like, "I guess we'll go find him." They were gonna get him mental help like 3 days earlier. And they couldn't find him until the MOA incident occurred. So, after he threw 5-year-old Landon off of that 3rd-story balcony, so when he was caught, he did admit to the crime. He said he had been looking for, in quotes, someone to kill. He came to the mall the day before, and he was looking for someone, but it didn't work out, which I can't find a different wording for why it didn't work out. It's just in every article I read, it was just, in quotes, "It didn't work out." Which I'm like, no one was around the balconies? What do you mean?
No, there weren't any small children?
There weren't 5-year-olds?
Because trust me, there are so many fucking small kids.
But like...
Yes, children irritate me. Would I ever harm a child or like wish harm upon a child?
Would you ever throw one off a balcony?
Never.
No, I would not.
Does your child screaming irritate me and make me go, yes?
Yes, I will make that annoyed noise. Here's to add to your nightmares, Logan, specifically. He planned to throw an adult off the balcony.
Oh my god.
Because they are the ones that usually stand really close to the sides.
I don't. So I would not be the adult.
And then he changed his plan at the last minute and threw Landon off instead.
I feel like, in terms of killing someone, you wouldn't want to throw a child, because they're like plasticine. Like, they can take a... It sounds bad. They can take a beating. Like, they're meant to last. An adult, you throw them off, they're made of paper skin and glass bones.
And paper skin.
Like, they will be dead.
That was actually my theory was...
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. He initially planned to kill the adult. And then in quotes I wrote, my theory was... So he went that day before and it didn't, in quotes, work out. I'm thinking he's looking for an adult. He's looking at all of the people standing by the railings, and I'm gonna assume if it's someone who's alone, it's probably like a dude.
Usually.
Like a big fucking
there are
dude.
very, very rarely are women by themselves at the Mall of America.
If it's a woman, she's with a group of people.
She's with her boyfriend, girlfriends, like several girls, like
multiple people.
A group of people.
So I'm thinking he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody. He goes to the mall and he realizes, oh shit, if I go up to anyone, if you walk up to me in a public space and you get too close to me, I am immediately like, who the fuck are you? Like, battle hands at the ready.
I'm sure you would. I'm really sure that you would.
Yes. What? Battle hands at the ready?
I don't think you would. I think you would awkwardly look at me or Brendan and be like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
But I would be aware of him. I wouldn't... I think most adults would be like, why is this guy so close to me? They wouldn't be, like, so off guard. Also, if he tried to grab me...
Like, if he was close enough that he was, like, touching and breathing up on me, then I'd be like, okay, guy, you need to back off.
Anybody who's an adult would be like, I'm gonna fight, I'm going to tell him to back off. I think he went that first day and it didn't work out because he was like, I'm gonna have to go younger. So that's why he picked Landon. Because Landon is over by the Rainforest Cafe. I'm assuming he's nowhere near the balcony. He had to pick that kid up and, like, throw him. So that's why I'm thinking it didn't work out the first time. So, Aranda claimed that he had been coming to the mall for years, and he'd been trying to pick up women, and he had been rejected, which made him lash out and become aggressive. Which is why he decided to throw a child off a balcony. Which doesn't make sense. You didn't throw a woman who rejected you off a balcony.
Just do the usual. Go to the gym, work out, get swole.
Which is really,
Go home, eat ice cream.
Go home. Just go home. No one, just go home. I don't care. Anyway.
Especially right now, stay home.
Stay home. Don't go to the mall.
Stay home, wear your mask.
I don't know
if you are going to go out, wear a
open.
mask.
Yes. So, he did plead guilty in court, and he was sentenced to about 19 years in prison. I either got 12 years or 19 years, depending on the source. Update on Landon. He is probably okay. He's not
Probably
dead.
okay.
I think he's okay. I looked at the GoFundMe.
I did look. I went, like, at the time I was trying to keep tabs, and I do know he's alive.
He is alive. So...
I hope he's okay.
He fell to 40 feet. He broke his skull, facial bones, both arms, one leg. He has... I'm assuming there was internal damage because I can't get too much information because the family didn't really want too much info.
Which is fair.
Which is why we're not saying the last name.
It's their own business.
I cut out the last name because I definitely said it.
You did.
So...
I mean, honestly, if you want to go and Google it, you can find it.
You can find it, but I'm not going to say it because the family said they don't want it, so I'm not going to say it. Now that I deleted it from when I previously said it.
After you've already said it.
But, like, he had a gash on his stomach as well. I'm assuming they had to do some internal surgery. But, so he was in critical condition for a while. He was released back to his house after, like, a couple months. He had a limp because he had uneven legs. Because he had
to begin with?
No.
Oh, because
of the fall, he had a femur broken in 2 different places, which made him have uneven legs. But he was 5 years old.
I feel like at 5, like, you're a little more moldable.
It evened out. So now he's walking fine. He's going back to school. He was in kindergarten. I read the GoFundMe page at, like, the 1-year mark, and they were like, he seems okay. Everything's fine.
Okay, good.
They didn't show, like, pictures of him walking around and being happy, but I'm assuming it's because they don't want his...
They want the privacy.
They want privacy, so I'm assuming he's good. But anyway, when he talks about the incident, he
That makes
states...
me happy. I hope he's okay.
I fell off of a cliff, but angels caught me, and Jesus loves me. I'm okay, and you should be too.
Aww.
So... his GoFundMe raised $1 million, which is pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
I don't think they have any of that money anymore because hospital bills are
a bitch.
insane. And then also, side note, Emmanuel Aranda's nails are icky long.
Ew.
They kept showing footage of him in the courtroom, and they would fucking close up on his nails, and he would just be like, click, 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 click.
He'd be like Carol, the choreographer from high school.
They were.
I loved Carol.
Well, you wouldn't love this bitch.
No. I know. I can like picture in my mind's eye, in my mind palace, what those nails look like.
I don't know what it is about men's nails when they get long, but they're like slightly creepier when they're longer.
Mine aren't.
Well, that's because you don't get your nails that long.
I have.
But you like maybe
take care of them.
Maybe it's because you file them and you take care of them.
I file mine incessantly. I'm at
Maybe
work and I'm listening to a customer. I'm fully what's her name from Atlantis.
Oh my god, I love her.
Marge, back to bags. I don't think she's
He's
coming.
coming
Or
back.
he's coming back. Packard.
I gotta go.
I gotta go. I sleep in the nude.
But she does.
Yeah, I do.
Ew. So yeah,
I'm an adult.
That was the story of Landon's assault.
Yes.
I would say his last name, but I'm not gonna because he's 5 years old and leave him alone. Other than donating to his GoFundMe, which is still active. So.
Do it if you want to help that family.
You should. You should donate to all the GoFundMes if they're nice.
Now it's time for a sibling story. And it's one I've been trying to get McCall to tell forever because it makes me laugh so hard.
I hate it so much. There's a couple ones that focus on me that I don't want to tell.
It's hilarious because McCall, like, throughout her whole life, McCall's like, there's never any stories about me. I remember me. Ain't nobody remembers me. I'm
This is my voice.
I'm the forgotten middle child.
I'm not a middle child. I'm the child, the baby child.
Exactly.
You're the one that's pooping in garages and shit.
Exactly. And then, so then...
Hashtag Logan shits his pants.
So then the family will tell stories like that about me, where I'm like shitting my fucking pants everywhere. And
Stop shitting your pants everywhere.
And... we think you have ibs. I probably have it.
Not to brag.
But no, it's like that's the thing. These stories are not funny to you at the time.
When people are telling them.
When people are telling them, you're embarrassed. And McCall's like, nobody ever hears these stories about me. We. But this is a story about McCall.
This is one we. So as we have already talked about it, maybe too much length, I think. We were both in speech when we were in high school. Spetch. Which, if you don't know what speech is...
Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Well, Ben listens.
He was in speech,
He
he listens. He was in storytelling, right?
Hey, kick my ass.
Yeah. Everybody kicked my ass. I wasn't very good. Anyway...
You were good, your stories just weren't.
My stories were my own. I am a creative genius. It's not my fault that I shit my pants. Anyway, we were in speech, which is when you write your own speech. Depending on the category, you write, whatever, dog.
And what was your category?
Mine was creative expression, which means I wrote my own speech, which has, characters, a story that I make up from scratch, and dialogue I make up from scratch.
Oh, like, give an example, like, the one who wrote a poem, or who did, like, poems?
The poems one where he was
no.
bang, bang, bang.
Oh, yeah. No, that one. What's the girl who was like a witch?
Stealing hearts and shit?
Yeah.
That was fucking weird.
What about the one who, like, is it the same one who, like, was like, can you guys, like, laugh when mine's funny?
No. Okay, if you don't know speech, I'm sorry. Creative expression.
We're making good time. We can
kind of go off tangent.
I'm sure after clipping it'll be okay, but.
Okay, especially creative expression, because other categories,
like you take an existing thing and crop it
you
to
cut
like
it down to
10,
like an 8-minute speech.
7 to 8 minutes.
But creative, you write your own shit. So when you see those rare,
it's completely original,
weird crystals out there who are just doing their own weird shit, you're like, you came up with all of this on your own. And one girl, before the speech, we're all sitting in the room talking in awkward silence, waiting for the judge to come in.
Well, because that's your category. In my category, we were all preparing because
Yeah.
we had to draw a story and then go and prepare it.
You had multiple ones you had to practice for. We had our one speech we made.
We did not have any of that like awkward moment.
Oh.
We were like so focused, like staring at the wall, talking at the wall, like
Yes. And so we're all sitting there. It was mostly silence, which I appreciate because I don't want anyone to talk to me. Anyway,
so social.
I'm so bad. This girl turns around and she starts small talk with the group, which I'm like, God damn it, bitch.
You're immediately like, fuck you.
And we're all talking, and she's like, okay, guys, so, like, I just, I'm not probably gonna be as funny as you, but can you please laugh at my stuff? Like, please, just to make me, like, feel better, just laugh at my funny jokes.
That's sad.
And we're all like, yeah, no, of course, we're gonna laugh at your stuff.
That's really sad.
She goes up there, her speech is about a girl. I don't remember
It was
most
like
of
drugs, wasn't it? Like drugs or like prostitution.
it. A girl from a broken home who slowly becomes a prostitute who then kills her abusive boyfriend who made her go into prostitution by striking him in the head with a hammer. And then she finishes her speech, which no one laughed at because there was no funny parts. And she sits down, the judge is writing her critiques, and this bitch just starts laughing. She is cackling to herself, and all of us white bread children are like, what?
What are you doing?
My speech is about a baker. Like, what the shit? That is not the story, though. That was not the sibling story.
Because this is really quick about creative speeches, especially. I think we've already touched on it. It's like people will every once in a while in creative try to do a dramatic speech, and with a dramatic speech, it's like either you will literally sweep everybody because it's really good and you've written it really well,
Everyone's crying.
or it's garbage. Garbage.
Or it's
mama.
a woman killing her boyfriend with a hammer to the head.
When Jeffrey and I did the
fuck
Diviners,
you,
when
fuck
Jeffrey and I
you.
did the Diviners, we made everybody
Fuck
cry
you.
in every round.
I hate it. You did so much better in duo than I did. Anyway,
Well, because you didn't have a coach.
we didn't have a coach. Anyway, that's not.
I'm still mad about that
This
because
is
that's
not what this is
because
about.
that is a proven good speech because our cousin literally went to nationals with it. So it's a good script.
Everybody has clicked off. They have
I'm sorry.
left.
They've left.
Okay, anyway.
Ben has actually heard me rant about this.
Sibling
actually,
story.
probably about this many drinks in too.
Yeah. So, okay, when you get up early on a Saturday and you put on an
5 a.m.
5 a.m., you put on an ill-fitting suit, you go to some random high school
Because if you don't wear a suit, you're garbage.
You're garbage.
I'm sorry, everyone who doesn't wear a suit to a speech tournament, get it together.
You didn't win.
Pull it
so-
together, go to JCPenney, get a fucking suit
Get
coat
a
and
suit
slacks, for God's sake.
So you go to a random high school and you have to give your speech 3 times over the day.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you give a speech. Public speaking is like the #1 fear in America.
And you're doing it at 8 a.m.
Sometimes you need to poop.
Well, you also have a very
nervous.
sensitive colon
I get
when you get nervous.
nervous tummy. And I am at
You
this...
got to the point where you just started taking Imodium before a speech tournament.
I did. But, like, I wasn't there yet. This was my freshman year of high school. And I am like, I got this. I can do it. I had made friends in my category. I made one specific friend. He was really cool. He liked my speech.
I think I was friends with his older brother, wasn't I?
I do not know.
Or at least I think I knew his older brother.
You knew his sibling. I don't know.
Sister? One of the
I
two.
think it might be sister. But anyway, I am going into a round, which is you have 3 rounds during the day where you have to tell your speech 3 times. If you get high enough scores, you get into finals at the end of the day.
Yeah. And if you don't get in the finals, you have to fucking stay there still the whole rest of
You
your day
have to watch
because
the
you travel in a
finals.
bus to
Yeah.
get to this fucking dumbass school.
So I get into this round, I see my friend, I say hi, he says hi, he says how much he likes my speech.
Was it like Michael or something?
It's Max.
Max.
I get up to tell my speech, and I have the nervous poos. I am gonna shit my pants. And I start...
Is this when you're still allowed to have your script in front of you, or at this point you have to not have
I
it?
never had my script in front of me. I never came in with a script.
Okay, good. There was a period in like the first couple tournaments, especially for like the novices, where they were allowed
They
to
were
have
allowed
their
to,
scripts.
but I didn't. But so I'm like halfway through my speech, and it kicks in where I'm like, oh no, uh-oh. And so I start to kind of ad-lib to make it faster, which isn't great.
But especially in your category, where it's the same speech every time, and your competitors know your speech
Know my
well enough
speech.
at this point.
So Max is in the front row like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I have a speech about a girl who's getting ready for a dance. There is a fairy godmother character who comes in at the end to deliver an eloquent, did you learn your lesson kind of thing. I am gonna shit my pants. So I do my sound effect where the fairy godmother comes in.
That's another thing. If you're never in speech, you have to have like transitions between things where usually it's like you putting your head up in like the SpongeBob imagination kind of like way and going like like a big transition.
The fairy godmother poofs in. Did you learn your lesson? And I ran out of the room, cheeks clenched, trying to locate the bathroom in this.
Did you even say anything to the?
I said nothing. I said,
Did you say?
I left.
Did you learn your lesson? Yep. Bye.
Did you learn your lesson? Psh. I left my black binder in the room, and I hightailed it out of there. Max never talked to me again. I almost shit my pants. But you know
God.
what?
At least when I shit my pants, it wasn't. Wait, it's been in public.
And it's been in public. You've been on a date before.
Yeah, I was on a date.
Hashtag low inches his pants.
Oh my God. Well,
Oh my god.
if you want to give us movie recommendations, send in your paranormal or true crime recommendations from a call to research. If you have your own sibling story that you'd like to feature on our podcast, go ahead and email us at livingvicariously@gmail.com. I was like, what is the name
It's
of our...
been a long time.
Yeah. If you would like to follow us, we are on all major social media. It is going to be Living Vicariously. You're going to have to fight your Google for that, because they will try to translate it to Living Vicariously.
We were too clever, you guys.
We were too smart. Hey, once we reach those, like, My Favorite Murder levels, it'll start being like, oh, Living Vicariously? Do you mean Living Vicariously?
Oh my gosh.
But we are on every social media platform. It's Living Vicariously, except for Twitter, which is Live Vicarious. Other than that,
That's it.
yep. Ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum 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 bum, ba-dum bum bum.